Good afternoon, mga katribu, and welcome to another episode of Spotlight. I am Matthew Pirante-Pèrez. Joining us today is someone who is making waves in the international movie scene after earning rave reviews as Diana in the Lorcan Finnegan film Nocebo. She also appeared in movies like Born Beautiful, Patay na si Jesus, and if you can check on YouTube, the Suto Kill Sauce skit. Everybody, please welcome Chai Fonacier. Hello, Chai. Hi. It's so lovely to have you here with us. You are just as joyful as you were when I saw you during the premiere.
I'm usually like this lang naman. With anybody.
Well, I am glad. Well, I am glad, you know. How have you been? How are things since the premiere?
Just a series of interviews and then shoot and then rest. Interview, shoot, rest. Interview, shoot, rest. It's kind of been like a little hectic after like a whole year of pretty much not doing anything because yun nga, hindi pa lumalabas ang Nocebo, didn't have a lot of projects. So this is a little parang, it's a great start to the new year na biglang, you know, I have stuff to do. I'm back to working again.
Hitting the ground running on the new year. That is
yeah.
amazing. That is
Yeah.
amazing. Now, tell us about Nocebo without spoilers. What is it about?
Okay, so
Because we have to, you know,
yeah.
people are going to watch this.
Yeah.
So, but give us a glimpse of what the film is about.
Okay, so
I've seen it, but let's give them, you know.
yeah, for those who have yet to see it, it's in cinemas now. It's about my character Diana,
Okay.
who goes to the UK and enters the household of Ava Green's character Christine as house help, and she ends up helping her with some ailments that she was experiencing, some inexplicable ailments that the doctors cannot figure out.
She was being ravaged by
Yeah.
by a series of illnesses.
Yes.
It's not limited to just one,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But doctors are stumped
Yeah.
to explain.
Yeah,
what
and
was
my
bringing it on.
character uses folk healing.
Folk healing.
Yeah, to kind of help her out through these ailments, and then you know the story rolls from there.
All right. You know, I gotta tell you, I've been a huge fan of Eva Green since
Me
the
too.
since the Bernardo Bertolucci film The Dreamers in 2003, and I have pretty much seen everything she's done, except regretfully, Penny
Penny
Dreadful.
Dreadful.
What was it like acting alongside her? Because I am really dying to know what she's like.
Oh, she's amazing. She can take over the whole room just by by her mere presence, especially when she's on cam. Like off cam, she's very shy and she's always aware of other people's spaces. Like she's always like on the side and really quiet, but she can be very engaging when you start talking to her. And then she comes on cam and she does her scene. And sometimes it makes me forget nakasali ako sa scene
Okay.
because you just want to watch her. And then I go,
You're just enthralled.
yeah, and I'm like, hi. Now I've forgotten my line. Wait lang. What's the first word? Okay, I'm coming in. Because you just want to watch her. She's a joy to watch, really, when she does her. Even during rehearsals, like, hala, wow. Okay, so next time I do rehearsals in other projects, I'm gonna be as, I'm gonna try to be as creative in exploring options as she is. There was this one time she had to be rolling around on the floor because of like the stuff that she was feeling physically, her character at least. And then she was, but she was still in character, huh? Am I hitting the couch now? Wait. She was still in character and everybody was laughing. She's sweet, she's funny. Yeah.
I'm sure she is.
Yeah.
I saw her, she acted alongside Johnny Depp, Dark Shadows. I saw her in Casino Royale. I saw her in Kingdom of Heaven
Yeah.
with Orlando Bloom. She did a lot,
Yeah.
and she's always a joy to watch, I
Yeah.
would say. And of course, as Artemisia in 300.
Yes.
Oh, she had a lot of, she had a
she's
lot of
looked
fun.
like she had a lot of fun there.
You could see the
Yeah,
fun radiating. But her character in Nocebo, she was really tortured. Her she was playing this anguished mother who's trying to be good, trying to do good, trying to be a good mother, trying to
Be a good businesswoman.
trying to be a good businesswoman, and she is plagued with these illnesses. And in a way, the film, without giving anything away, in a way, the film is a meditation on bodily autonomy and mental illness. Because there's a part there where, as part of the audience, you ask yourself, is this real or imaginary?
Yeah.
That's what makes it so brilliant.
Yeah, which does tie into why the film is called Nocebo. This is how, you know,
The opposite of placebo.
the opposite of placebo, you know.
Yes.
Lorcan and Garrett were saying in their interviews that this project started because they were talking about, you know, the effects of placebos and nocebos until they got into the world of shamanism. And as Irish people, you know, they also have that part of their culture na erased because of colonialism,
Okay.
which is very similar to
the
Philippines.
Philippines.
Yeah, to the Philippines, there's a lot of our pre-colonial practices that have probably been, you know, forgotten because when the colonizers came, you know, they pretty much made sure to kind of
Erase our
yeah,
history, our culture,
identity.
our identity. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But I am glad that remnants or vestiges
Yes.
of our identity is still very accessible. And there's a part of me that's hoping that we can rebuild
Yeah.
our identity and even the folklore based on these vestiges,
Yeah.
based on whatever is left.
I like how these elements in our culture have been very persistent despite the history of oppression and subjugation that we have gone through. You know, it only proves na we still have something to hold on to in terms of our identity as a people, and regardless of whether we believe in these practices or not, it's just really, for me personally, it's really nice to still witness these things or even experience these things myself.
Okay.
Because it's very much part of who we are. I mean, even as kids, we all experienced, or most of us at least to safely say, experienced, you know, yung bibigyan ka ng paracetamol pag nilalagnat ka.
Yes.
But then your mama says, no, call the local manggagamot. We just want to make sure that it wasn't the diwindi near the mango tree that did this to you, you know.
Yes, yes.
And there's always that thing. There's always the mga pamahiin of yung magpapagpag ka after you
Going to awake.
Going to awake, or amin sa Mindanao magpapausok.
Oh, may ganun.
Oo, hindi uso sa amin yung pagpag. Ang amin is magpapausok ka before you enter the house. Yun yung version namin of pagpag. It's the same idea na para hindi ka sundan. Pero iba yung practice. Yeah.
Pwede na ba yung Yossi?
Baka pwede. Baka lapitan.
Usok daw
Baka
eh.
lapitan ka ka, prima.
ayun lang. So, we will get to that
Yeah.
now because I find that the mythology
Yeah.
and the shamanism, that's something I'd like to explore. But before that, who told you about the project and how did you audition? What was the process?
Aha, ito. So, I was very much unemployed in 2020. Bianca Balbuena,
Right.
who is from Epic Media as well, and also a good friend of mine. I've worked with her in a number of films. They also produced Patay na Jesus. They produced Miss Bulalakaw. She approached me late in 2020 and said, Chai, can we invite you to audition for this project?
Okay.
And I said, I do not have a job. Of course, I will audition. And I thought it was just going to be this, I was going to be part of like a group of support characters,
Okay.
you know, because I didn't think any of it really. I just wanted a job. It was an international project. And I said, yeah, let's go do this. This is going to be a new experience for me. And it's great on the resume. It's great for like experience building. And then when I was asking questions and I was about to film my audition video na, she told me Eva Green was playing Christine. So I panicked. I panicked and I was, oh my God, I gotta get this. I cannot. I've had a year of, like back then, I had a year of like not doing anything. If I don't get this role, I am going to be devastated. This is like, you know, the biggest sayang of that time siguro if I didn't get it. So I was like, we have to do this. I did multiple takes with my friend. My friend was on video call with me throughout the night and he was in Iligan at that time.
Are we talking about the same friend we were talking
No.
about?
another
Another
one of my
friend.
best friends.
Okay.
Si Lenz. So who's also a filmmaker
Right.
and a writer. So I finished it at 5 in the morning na. Because I just wanted to get it right. And then after I submitted it, put it out of my head.
What was it? What was it that you had to do?
It was a part of the script, so I didn't know what the entire story was yet. I didn't know how big the role was yet.
So you had to say lines.
Yes,
basically.
yes, I did.
You had to say lines.
Yeah, I had to record my own audition video.
Audition video.
Kasi sagsagan ng pandemic noon, we couldn't really go out.
Couldn't really go
yeah,
out.
so and Lorcan was in Ireland anyway, so like, okay, send an audition video. Put it out of my head for about 2 weeks. I said, okay, mga santos, bahala na mo. Tabang mga langit. And then I think about a couple of weeks later, they contact me for a callback.
Yes.
And they said, we like what you did, but can we try something else? Just a few notes. Let's see if you can do it. So I redid my audition based on some of their additional notes.
Yes.
And then apparently later on, I find out that Bianca showed them Miss Bulalakaw.
Right.
Pala. And they liked what I did there, and they liked my audition. And then, like, I think a few days later, they confirmed that I got the role. And then after that, we did all of the red tape to try to fly me out. And then I flew out early or mid-Feb
Of 2021.
of 2021.
Yes.
Yeah, and then stayed there for about a month and a half to film in Ireland.
That's all it took, a month and a half?
In Ireland, and then another week and a half yata here in the Philippines, 2 months later.
Oh, that's the part that I wanted to ask because, during the press conference when I wasn't able to ask that, Eva Green was in the Philippines?
No, this is the amazing bit about it.
That's what I want to know.
This is the amazing bit about it. I'm not going to say spoilers, but there was a scene where it was set in the Philippines.
Yes.
And Eva Green was there.
Yes.
But she couldn't fly in anymore because she had other schedules na, and then they couldn't move it around anymore. So what the production team did, both in Ireland and in the Philippines, both production teams worked, with production design teams worked together. The interior was shot in Ireland.
Okay.
The exterior was shot 2 months later here in the Philippines.
Right.
But when you watch the film, yung continuity niya ang ganda.
It was seamless.
Like it was, yeah, it was
seamless.
It was seamless. I'm like, and then when I saw it finally on film, I'm like, our production design teams are great. As in, I swear.
So the little girl, there's a little girl in the scene,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that little girl, she's from Ireland.
She's based in the UK.
She's based in the
actually.
UK.
She's based in the UK. The Filipino family. And then she got flown in here for the rest of the other scenes because she had more scenes, Philippine scenes.
Yes.
Yeah. So she got flown in here with her mom, got to meet her mom, she's wonderful. And then, ayun na. But the continuity was wonderful. Like, it was 2 months in between.
It was 2 months in between.
2 months in between because they had a hard time flying in to the Philippines because of all of the restrictions that we had back then.
Yeah, we had restrictions, lockdowns and everything.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you were informed that you got the part?
I actually didn't. It was weird. It wasn't sinking in. It wasn't sinking in, and then I got the entire script, and then my friend also. I had my friend read the entire script with me because he was the one who was helping me out with he was my sounding board.
Okay.
For my character, and we were on video call. We're like, Chai. I'm like, yes, Lens. Dako lagi ni, it's big. It's big. It started sinking in. I'm like, oh my God, it's big. Oh my God, it's big. Oh my God, it's big. Wait lang, 5 minutes. I'm gonna go get beer. She said, yeah, me too. Wait lang, don't hang up. We got beer. I'm like, cheers. We were on video call. With my boyfriend was at home as well. I'm like, mahal, it's. It was just, and then when everything was done, all the screaming was done, I was like, oh no, and then panic ulit. Like, how do I do this? I have to catch up. These are big people. I have to catch up. Just this feeling of the idea of working with more seasoned actors and more experienced production team. I felt like, oh man, I have to catch up. I have to put my best foot forward.
Best foot forward. I also would like to give a shout out.
Yeah.
Not really a shout out, but I would also like to acknowledge the efforts of Mark Strong.
Yeah.
Because his role was minor, but with him came the gravitas
Yeah.
of how he did it.
Yeah.
And I would say that is the hallmark of a fine actor.
Oh, I love doing that one scene with him. I'm not gonna tell you what it is.
You're gonna have to
because
watch it,
You're
guys.
gonna have to watch it.
Yes.
But there was this one scene where I had to be the more powerful one, and I'm a short person. This guy is tall. This guy is tall. I was like, I was rereading the scene again. And I'm like, how do I do this? I became hyper aware of how small I am in my stature, and I'm like, no, I will just call upon all of my ancestors and the power of all the babaylans in history to like empower me in this scene. You know, that kind of thing. But getting into that mindset. I mean, it's funny when I say it now, but getting into that mindset of like channeling all of my ancestors, it kind of helped. And I loved how he was very he was also carrying the scene with me. We were equally, we understood what that scene was for. So he also knew how to support me in it, and as much as I also, provided that support for him in that scene. And I think for me that was one of the best scenes in Sitges, and when it was screened in the Sitges Film Festival. The entire cinema was applauding in that scene. They were like, "Yes, yes, go get him!" Yeah, so that was amazing. Like, oh my God, they're applauding. They're applauding for this scene. So yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
What preparations did you make to prepare for the role?
Apart from a lot of back and forth with my friend and my
Yes.
boyfriend about the character, there was a lot of, personally, there was a lot of going into what her socioeconomic background was and how that affects her personally with her, with the way she views the world. The other stuff, actually very technical na nga eh. Researching about the ritual itself. Garrett and Lorcan showing me videos of them going through that ritual themselves, because they before everything else, while they were writing this, they went to Siquijor and Cebu to research and interview people. They did their research, and I love the respect that they showed to the culture that they were going to feature in their film, a culture that they understand is not theirs. So they were very careful about it. We had local consultants, na spiritualists, who like verified, okay, are these props correct? How do we handle these? Because these props are,
Yes.
they are actual props that
We are
practitioners actually use. Some of them, and a lot of them were bought from Quiapo. So there were some items there na parang, okay, wag niyong idadaan sa sementeryo ito.
Okay.
And so the production team in Ireland was like, right, we're gonna check the routes. Okay, no cemetery, we're great. Those kinds of instructions. Or okay, so whenever you use these props in a scene, you make sure that either Chai is the one that puts away these things and hands it over to the production team, or at least I'm present.
Okay.
While they're putting it away, because sometimes I need to dress up for the next scene, right? So they're putting on stuff, they're fixing my hair and whatever, so I have to be there to like watch them, and so just so that there's a sense of closure in terms of opening up that whatever it is that we might have opened up. I don't know.
So the props were purchased from Quiapo and they were flown into Ireland.
Yeah.
And these props are not mere props. I've seen them.
Yeah.
They were they enchanted or blessed or wait, cursed?
I have no idea.
Because if you are required to be in the same room, I'm guessing some sort of ritual was performed.
Yeah.
Because that means it's activated.
Yeah.
Because if it's just mere props without the prayers, the rituals, then it,
Yeah.
as far as I know, as far as Filipino folklore and babaylan, I'm not even sure if I can call it folklore,
Yeah.
because or mythology. Let's go with
Yeah.
mythology. Babaylan mythology is concerned. Rituals are done
Yeah.
like before certain items can be activated, but we will get to that in a bit when Spotlight returns.
Bayan, oh. Sabayan ang pagbabago ng mundo for all your pera transactions, all new Bayan.
Thank you for staying with us. You're still on Spotlight, the Daily Tribune's lifestyle digital show. Did you research on Philippine mythology, the Manghilots, the Babaylan, Philippine shamanism? What did you learn along the way?
Okay, the rituals that we feature in the film, particularly, I have not experienced myself.
Right.
So I based that off of what I could find on the internet, what I could get from friends who have experienced that, from Lorcan and Garrett who have experienced it themselves.
Right.
And there was a lot of talk about, at least between me and my friends and my boyfriend, we would discuss about why it's such a it's very strong yung belief in this, especially before historically, and how it affects people now. And then of course we got into the socioeconomic stuff of you know, society and everything, lack of healthcare. You know, people go to the Manghihilot because, you know, the pretty much a lot of people have do
Lack
not have
of
access
to decent healthcare.
Yeah, to decent healthcare, which ties into the background nung character ko when people around her discovered that she could heal. You know, they would go to her instead of going to maybe a doctor or to the local clinic. Siya na yung manggagamot ng bayan, but at the same time she becomes a sort of pariah. Na parang
Yes.
everybody's scared of her, but everybody runs to her for help. So that informs how she sees the world and how she sees people, and maybe it affects her trust issues as well, in terms of people na pag kaya ganun na lang yung reaction niya in the whole film, na nasaktan siya na minsan bigla, you know, that kind of, okay, no spoilers. But
No,
but
actually
yeah, there
later
was,
magbibigay ako ng spoiler later.
Oh,
Meron
no.
akong isang spoiler.
Okay, sige.
But yeah, kanina, going back to
Yeah.
what we were discussing shortly before our commercial break, you mentioned each props were
Yeah.
researched and purchased in Quiapo and is said to have supernatural powers. How were you guys able to handle this with care, especially when dealing with occult
Yeah.
objects? Occult is the word I'm looking for.
I think yung main purpose namin for consulting a local shaman or local spiritualist is that just so we do not mishandle it. Because kami din mismo, ako mismo, I do not know, and I don't think I want to know what those things can do specifically, or what those things are for. I don't think I'm ready for that.
Mamaya binasa mo yung dasal, ano? Tapos
Diba?
bigla kami nakulam.
Oh, yeah, di ba? Biglang, kasi may isang
Legit pala, no?
Yeah, because there are items na may nakalagay na note na parang ito yung cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha, tapos nakalatin siya. Tapos sabi na, wag mong babasahin yan. And I'm like,
Wait, define wag babasahin. Like, don't read it out loud. But you can,
yeah. Pero natakot na ako, hindi ko na, even in my head, hindi ko na
Hindi mo na
binasa.
tiningnan.
Hindi ko na tiningnan kasi, okay, wag mong babasahin yan, nobody read it aloud, nobody like whatever. Oh my God. So because if you're not, I think my impression is, if you're not careful, you know, and if you don't follow instructions to the T, you could.
you don't know what you could unleash.
You don't know what you're gonna unleash. You don't know who you're going to hurt. You don't know if you might hurt yourself. Even, diba?
Baka mag-backfire.
I know,
Yeah.
baka mag-backfire without your intending to. Or, you know, you might attract certain, I don't know, stuff. I mean, like, I'm still a believer of things that we don't fully understand. There are some things are in this world, in this universe, that we cannot yet fully explain, because our brains are very limited as human beings, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you
Yeah.
mean. Kasi my take on things like these would be, everything can be explained by science
Yeah.
until
Until
it
it can't. Yeah.
That's when you leave room for the divine, you leave room for the supernatural,
Yes.
malevolent or otherwise.
Yeah.
Kasi when we say supernatural, it doesn't necessarily have to be malevolent.
Yeah.
But yun nga, everything can be explained by science until
Until
it
it
can't.
can't, yeah.
Leave room for the divine and the
Yeah.
supernatural, malevolent, or
not,
otherwise.
or otherwise. And we don't know kasi if that is malevolent or neutral or not.
Yes,
Diba?
yes, exactly.
Yeah, so things can some of these things can present themselves as, I'm your friend, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're dead. What? Si Bako. si Bako, asa ba manuktok ani mo? Diba? You know?
Yes, I understand. But, your performance as Diana garnered critical acclaim. And it is hard to upstage Eva Green. Not that you upstaged
Yeah.
Eva Green,
Yeah.
but it was your vehicle.
Yeah.
There's no going around it.
Yeah.
I can't say it's a star turn because your performances are always stellar, including Suto Kill Sauce. Ihanap na lang po. That's my very first introduction to Chai Fonacier. 8 to 9 years
Mga
before sitting here.
2016
No, hindi.
15, 16.
15.
Yeah.
15. Yeah, thereabouts. Sige, sabi natin 7, 8 years in the making.
Yeah.
Never thought that you and I would actually come face to face and talk. It's so hilarious. Hindi ko masabing star turn kasi nga a lot of your performances, you really give your all. And patay na si Jesus, other than Jacqueline Jose, ikaw talaga yung napansin ko. But in Nocibo, your diminutive stature, and I say this with love, all the love I have and all the respect I have, despite the diminutive Asian stature, over actors, Mark Strong, Eva Green. I believe Eva Green is my height. Maybe a little taller pa nga
She's a
yata.
little bit a head taller than me. Yeah, a little bit. I think if I remember correctly, yeah.
So I'm still somewhat taller than Eva Green.
Or siguro pagkapareho. Yeah.
Kind of, right?
Kind of.
As far as I remember, she and I share like similar height. But you were a diminutive powerhouse and you owned the film. It's not that you upstaged Eva Green, but you owned it.
Yeah.
That's where it was critically acclaimed. How does it feel, when you see rave reviews about your performance? How does it make you feel as a performer, as an actress, as an artist, and as a human being?
I think these review. I try not to read them actually. I try not to read them. But I do get comments because my friends would go, "Oh, I read this about you. I read this. This is the quote," and I'm like, "Sige, don't show that to me na lang." It kind of it's surreal and it's strange to me because my goal for every role that is given to me is to just do it the best that I can, and especially when I am in the same space as people who have had more experience than I have. There's always like a fire under my, can I say it? Fire under my bottom.
Okay.
So it's like this fire under my bottom where I'm like, and there's this hindi na, it's not an insecurity, but I think it's a fear of not being at par with these people, and especially if I believe in the story. I focus on my job as an actor where this is a really good story, so I have to do my part.
I understand how that
I
feels.
really have to do my part, and then when it makes people happy, when my performance makes people happy, or it makes them,
It
like what
evokes
I
emotion.
do. Yeah,
Yes.
if they like what I do. My first reaction, my initial reaction is usually that of relief, because then I can let go of all of the shoulda, woulda, couldas that go on in my head. Like, I should have
Yes.
done this, I should have done that, I should have did the scene in this manner or this manner. It's mostly relief, because then this is proof na, okay, so I have done my job. I have not wasted anybody's money when they paid me for it.
But you watch your own films.
I do.
You do.
Yeah.
Because during my days as an actor, I don't watch my scenes.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I didn't watch the films that I did.
Yeah.
I did not watch the TV shows that I did. The reason being, as an actor, when my scene is done, I abandon it.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that if I watch it after, I will pick it apart.
Yeah.
And I should have done it like this.
Yeah.
I should have done it this way. I should have looked that way. And it's going to ruin it for me.
Yeah.
Because I will be very critical of my own work. So, unless people tell me it was horrible, that's the only time that I would be like, where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong?
Yeah.
I will watch the scene.
Yeah.
But rave reviews or Deadma, I let it go. I don't watch
Yeah.
because really I will just get self-conscious and pick it apart.
Yeah. For me, I watch them, especially during shoots, because before nung nagte-teatro ako, I was used to rehearsals where we could like really pick apart the scene and pick apart what we did wrong, so that by the time the show date arrives, we're like, okay, we're doing it correctly. Most of the films that I've done, at least locally, walang rehearsal. So I had to learn how to watch myself. I also went through that, like, I don't want to watch myself because I'm going to pick it apart and everything. But I think I along the way, I taught myself to watch myself and watch for just the more important stuff.
Okay.
Things that will ruin the whole performance for me, I just let them go. I watch out for, let's say, continuity. I watch out for, like, okay, there was a learning curve in terms of being objective towards myself and without, beating myself up for it so much. But I know how that feels for you, like when you talked about, like, it ruins the experience for you when you're picking it apart too much and you don't know where to stop anymore. Somewhere along the line, I had to teach myself to know when to stop. So that, because if I beat myself up, it's going to affect the next scene that I'm going to do and the rest of the day or the rest of the shoot days, and I'm going to,
No, I only pick
Yeah.
it apart when it's done. Like
Oh,
when
okay,
I've
when it's
seen the
done.
actual movie.
Yeah.
Or, there was one time that I saw it and I was
Yeah.
like, oh.
Yeah.
And since then, I said, you know what?
Yeah.
I've done it. It's done. I am not going to pick this apart.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch it. But, thank goodness I haven't been told that my performances were bad
Yeah.
or it was so bad
Yeah.
that my friends would call me. The only time that I got phone calls from my friends was when I in one of the previous jobs that I did, I used to deliver the news in Filipino.
Uh-huh.
And they will call me and then mumurahin nila ako sa phone. Mumurahin nila ako sa phone because
They're not used to seeing
they're
you like
not
that.
used to seeing me talking straight Filipino.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't say there's a weird accent, but it doesn't sound natural.
Uh-huh.
So that is the reason.
Yeah.
That is the reason I prefer to speak in English,
Yeah.
because when I speak in Filipino, despite the fact that I grew up here,
Yeah.
I was born and raised in the Philippines.
Yeah.
English is my first language. When I speak in Filipino, unless it's conversational,
Yeah.
when I have to consciously speak Filipino, there's
Yeah.
a weird accent that comes out. And I just,
Because you start kind of overthink it a little bit.
yes, and what happens to me is the thoughts are in English,
Yeah.
and I have to translate it to Filipino.
There's code switching happening. Oh, code switching is real, friends. I swear.
Code switching is real. Hindi po kami maarte. Promise, hindi po kami maarte. It's just pag magtatagalog na kami and iisipin namin what we have to say,
Yeah.
some weird things happen. Accents happen. Wala po akong like American accent. Wala po akong ganun,
Yeah.
honestly. Pero pag nagbabasa na po ako ng Tagalog, medyo, I'm like, no. Yung nagbabalita ako
Yeah.
ng Tagalog,
Yeah.
ayan. Hindi naman ako na-bash, pero
Yeah.
sabihin natin pinagtawanan ako ng mga,
Yeah.
pinagtawanan ako ng barkada ko. Sabi ko, okay, sige, understood.
I can relate to that feeling of having the code switch because ako, Bisaya.
Mhm.
So, lots of times I think in three languages.
Right.
So, naghahalo-halo siya. Tapos biglang minsan, sasabihin ko na lang, even for some simple words. Like, for example, I'm talking to a friend in the van. And then I go, hindi kasi ganito, ganyan, ganyan. Tapos, sa kanining Tagalog katilingban, uy, say Tagalog katilingban, and then it so happens that the driver is Bisaya, and then he goes, lipunan po, ma'am. Ay, Bisaya ka? Yes!
Yes.
We have a translator in the house.
I do get that. I do get that also because I come from a Filipino Spanish household,
Yeah.
so there are certain words in Filipino and in Spanish, they're not the same, but they
Yeah.
sound the same. For example, bale.
Uh-uh.
Bale ganito yun.
Uh-uh.
But in Spain,
Yeah, how is that word
when you say
used?
bale, it's like okay.
Aha,
Like,
okay.
if you say something like, Chay, kumain ka na ba? Or something, hindi, mamaya na ako kakain kasi may ginagawa pa ako. Ah, bale.
Aha.
It means okay.
So I wonder how it started being used in the context na we use bale. Siguro, bale ganito. Siguro siya, okay ganito.
Yes,
Okay ganito.
Yes.
Ah, okay, sige, gets.
But the one thing that I can say, the word konyo.
Aha.
The word konyo.
Ayan, actually.
Uh,
May nabasa ako about yan that it means different
Yes.
in Spanish and as opposed to
Yes.
like how we use it. Okay, enlighten me. What does that mean
All
in
right.
Spanish?
So, konyo is a pejorative term for vagina.
Aha, okay.
Yes, mga katribu, konyo is the Spanish word for the female genitalia, the vagina.
The vagina.
And the reason that it was associated with the rich is when people of Spanish descent, Filipino Spanish, or Filipinos of Spanish, basically my people.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, hindi po kami yung nanakop sa inyo. Hindi po ako kasali doon. But Filipinos of Spanish descent, when they get mad, they say konyo.
Aha.
They say that a lot. And in Spain, we do say that
Aha.
a lot. There are so many variations of it, which I cannot say on cam because I
Yeah.
don't want to be penalized.
In the same way that, in Tagalog we say,
That's
or
right.
in Cebuano we say,
Mhm.
oh yeah.
That is correct. Or the other B word.
Yeah,
The other
yeah,
B
yeah,
word.
the- Yeah.
So the Filipinos then associated it with the more affluent
Yeah.
Filipinos of Spanish descent.
Yeah.
So, nandito na naman yung mga konyo. Dito na naman yung mga konyo.
Yung mga konyo.
So
Yeah.
that's how the word konyo came about. That is the
Yeah.
etymology when we think of konyo, it's rich, but it's
Yeah.
actually a vulgar term in Spanish. And we do say that quite a lot, especially in my household. We say that quite a lot.
In varying degrees, I think. I think in multiple cultures, that's like a common.
My cat one time, my cat crawled up
Yeah.
with her claws.
Uh-huh.
So I got scratched up because she crawled up. I was like, kita, konyo. Kita is like stop it.
Uh-huh.
It's spelled as quit with an A.
yeah.
It's like kita, konyo.
Konyo.
So, but yeah, just
Yeah.
so you know,
Yeah.
fun fact. That's
fact.
the etymology of the word konyo.
Today's trivia is brought to you by Spotlight.
I mean, who knew, right? Fun
Yeah,
fact here at
yeah.
Spotlight. Now, going back, sorry, we got segued there a little bit. We got sidetracked there a little bit. There are a lot of aspiring actors and actresses who set their dreams aside to take on more secure jobs.
Yes.
At some point,
Yeah. Yeah.
what advice can you give them to shine during auditions, or let's go with how to shine during auditions first.
Okay. Well, truth be told, I was expecting that I would go through, a lot of the audition process, but because of the way that I entered the showbiz industry, I didn't get a lot of chances to audition in person, really,
Sorry.
because they would approach my management already with a role in mind. That kind of thing. Whether it was a small role or a
Would
big-ish
you look at that?
role, or a big-ish role. But I I think what my manager right now and I have been kind of doing right is that we're very picky about we can be very picky about stories and roles. And we
Tell me
have
more
no
about
nos.
this.
We have no nos. If we sense that the role is demeaning to a certain group of people or a sector of people in our society, if it's disrespectful to that group, then we turn it down.
Or if
If it's
is
disrespectful to
comedic
Ye-
but borderline disrespectful.
yeah, or kind of
Sorry,
ridicule na, oo.
caricaturing a certain um, ethnic group or
Yeah.
something. Okay, please
Yeah,
proceed.
and I've listed that down as a no-no. There was I will not mention which project it was, but
That's
I
okay.
ended up in a role where I was forced to become again like the butt of jokes kasi Bisaya. Prior to us accepting the role, there was no talk of, including
Yeah.
my accent or my mother tongue in it. But just right before the take, they said, gawin mo yung Bisaya accent mo kasi it's funny. And I'm like,
No.
let's do a take. And I'm like, oh no. So I've after that I've listed that down as a no-no, and I'm like, no, we will not not do things like that. For other actors naman, I think were sort of beginning to get into the scene. If you can afford it, be meticulous about the projects that get offered to you or that you accept. Like for example, if you've already had and we're talking shop now here, diba?
Yeah.
Where if you've already had a role with you're an actual character with a name and you have speaking lines, your next project shouldn't be na nakalagay ka lang ulit sa background, because that would like pull you down the ladder. Get something that's either equal or bigger to the last thing that you
So kung nag-level
did.
up ka na, huwag ka nang pumayag na bigyan ka ng
Yes,
something lesser.
Yes.
That was also taught to me before.
Yeah.
And also how to avoid typecasting, because honestly, I was typecast.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was almost, I think, napunta ako sa isang, earlier in my, several years ago, when I was starting out here in Metro Manila, I think a bunch of people wanted to like put me in this comedy box. I love comedy, don't get me wrong. I love doing comedy. And that's exactly why we did Suto Kill Sauce anyway in the first place, because my friends and I love comedy.
I love Suto Kill Sauce.
But then when I got here and they wanted me to do comedy, one of the things that some of the people here did not understand was that, yes, I'm funny, but I'm funny in Bisaya. I'm funny in Cebuano. I'm not funny in Tagalog. Maybe I'm not funny in Tagalog. I'm not as confident about my humor in Tagalog.
Yeah.
So, and then I knew, even back then, that I could do more than I wanted to do a lot of other stuff. It wasn't just a question of can. It was also I want to do other stuff. So it was just along the way I just kind of refused. Right. My manager now and I have also, I'm glad that we are on the same page about this. He helped me a lot with veering away from that kind of being boxed. Now the price for this is that I didn't have a lot of projects. But I guess for me, I chose the slower but the surer way, as opposed to just like getting everything. And you know how people always tell you to strike while the iron is hot, but that is true.
There is truth to
But-
striking while the iron is hot.
but
But choose
also,
projects
yeah.
carefully.
Strike while the iron is hot, but consider also other factors. Like, yes, the iron is hot. Do I really have to strike it now? Or do I want to strike that other iron over there?
Make that iron hot and then strike
and
that.
then I'm gonna strike. I'm gonna wait for that other iron to get hot, and then I will strike that one. Because this one is just a little piece of. It's small. I will get that one.
True.
You know?
And-
Timing.
Yeah, the reason I ask about typecasting is during my stint as an actor, You'd be surprised the number of times that I played doctors and lawyers and professors
Yeah.
and businessmen, and I was 20.
Oh, okay.
I was 20. I looked older than my
Yeah.
age, so they would put me in a suit, and because of the way I speak, it's always that. It's
Yeah.
always doctor, lawyer, professor, museum curator,
Yeah.
businessman. I want to be cast as Sangano, you know, or henchman, goon.
Yeah.
Gusto ko makast na ganun. Kahit isang beses lang.
Ako gusto ko makast na sniper.
Oh.
And then kasi when my friends and I were talking about it, like, yeah, what you get asked that question a lot. What role do you want to play? And I said I haven't really thought about it. And then my boyfriend said, how about a sniper? Because I said I don't want to do. I'm sure that I don't want to do action films because I don't think I'm physically fit, or unless they give me time to get physically fit for it. But you can be a sniper. You don't have to run around. You just have to stand on top of a building and shoot people. Yeah, no.
Now that you mentioned a role,
Yeah.
in an alternate universe, we
Yeah.
all have our favorite films.
Yeah.
And there are roles that we wish we had or that we wish we got, even if we didn't audition for it.
Yeah.
Like, we see a film and we're like, man, what a beautiful role. I wish I had something like that. Or I
Yeah.
wish I was the one doing that.
Yeah.
What would it be for you?
Oh, I haven't really thought about that actually. Because when I watch films and then I see a really good performance, like, yes, Hannah! And I just root for that person. I bet I've had roles before that I think I wish I did. Unfortunately, I can't really remember them right now. I'll get back to you on that tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
No, but so I'm sure there were, especially before when I was especially during times when we don't have projects and then you see other people getting jobs. I'm like, God, maybe I should play that role. There are projects that I wish I was part of. You know,
Me
I
too.
guess not. Maybe not exactly a role.
We're not saying
Yeah.
that we could have done it better.
Yeah,
it's
yeah, it's
like
just
in an
I wish-
alternate universe.
Like, what if I did it?
What if-
what would have happened? Yeah.
Yeah, or man, that is so awesome. I wish I did that.
wish I was part of. I wish I did that. Like, I want to
Yeah.
experience what
Yes.
that person experienced
Yes.
filming that film. You know, that kind of. It's okay. I'm lost. Which roles those were? I'm sure there were. I'm sure
Okay.
there were.
Let's narrow it down. How about let's go with foreign shows, all right? What TV series?
Oh,
I
yes,
love this
now.
question.
Okay, now.
What
okay.
TV series would you wish you were part of?
Okay, so there's this TV series called Mythic Quest,
Okay.
and there's this character there named Jo.
Okay.
I forgot her name. I googled her. She's a wonderful actor. She's this very medyo psycho. Psycho. So the story of Mythic Quest is it's set in it's an office story. It's an
Okay.
office thing, but it's gaming companies.
Right.
So you have gamers and you have like programmers. You have like game designers in that in the cast of characters. You have writers who write the plot line of the whole game. There's this one character named Jo. Medyo psycho siya. It's comedy. And she's kind of socially awkward. She always has dark thoughts, and she's weirdly loyal to people that she chooses to be loyal to. Like, for example, okay, I have determined you to be like the most powerful person in the room, and she will be weirdly loyal, but like a dog with rabies. Like, if somebody tries to hurt you or say anything to hurt you, she's gonna go, I will cut you. It's such a comedic role. It's so beautiful.
I should find that. I should find
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It's on I think Apple.
Apple TV?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They just released season 3. There's the latest season now that I'm following. I love that character. Like, I was thinking that I wish I want to play a similar role. I want to play a similar psycho secretary role. I will cut you. You know, she can get really, she's not mean, but she can be very like, oh my God, why does this girl like a lot of blood? What the hell is wrong with you? That kind of thing.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that. I get that. But you know what? I'm gonna watch
Yeah,
that. I am
Mythic Quest.
I am gonna
Love
search
that
that.
series.
In my case,
Yeah.
there's no specific character.
Yeah.
I wish I was part of Grey's Anatomy.
Aha!
And I wish I was part of Grey's Anatomy. I started watching it when I was 18 years old when it came
Yeah.
out in 2005.
Yeah.
And now I'm pushing 36. I'm at season 19.
Oh my-
I'm
it's
still
still
watching
going
it.
on,
I am
no? Yeah.
still at it. The other show would be The Walking Dead.
Aha!
I like physical roles. I may not be physically fit, but I'm willing to be physically fit for challenging roles like that.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about a specific role, since I asked that question, I was running a list in my head. There's only one.
Yeah.
If they rewrote that character to be a guy's character,
Aha.
I would have wanted to play that role. It's
My tummy is. I think I'm hungry. Anyway.
Oh, you're hungry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. Go ahead. It's
the-
just normal human things. Yes, go
Okay.
ahead.
The 2014 HBO movie, The Normal Heart.
Aha, I haven't seen that.
It's about the early days of HIV/AIDS
Aha.
in New York City. Julia Roberts plays a wheelchair-bound doctor. She was struck with polio.
Oh wait, I've seen clips of that. Yeah, okay, I'm familiar with that film, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was one of the very few doctors who weren't afraid of AIDS patients.
Yeah.
She was caring for them up until their last moments. The rage and anger and anguish. You know, for all that Julia Roberts is like America's sweetheart,
Yeah.
she was great for romantic comedies when she was younger, and she
Yeah.
transitioned to more character actors. The one thing that people don't understand, or at least my personal preference,
Yeah.
I love it when Julia Roberts plays really angry, anguished women, and she has top 3.
There is another one where she was a teacher. I love that film. It's on Netflix, I think.
Mona Lisa Smile.
Yes, that
Yes.
one. Ooh,
That
love
was
her
great.
there.
That was great.
Yes.
But her top 3 angry women roles,
Yeah.
which I suggest you watch. Of course, she won the Oscar for Erin Brockovich.
Yeah.
She was angry, she was
Yeah.
crude, but wow, I loved her there. But the 2 other roles where she shone and all the rage, it was the most gorgeous display of violence. Without not physical violence,
Yeah.
but it was
Just emotionally
Yes.
violent. No.
the most awesome volcanic, talagang volcanic
Yeah.
display of violence I've ever seen is when she played Dr. Emma Bruckner in The Normal Heart, and when she played Barbara Weston in August Osage County.
Aha, that
Pinky
one I have not
Amador
seen. Yeah.
got the chance to play Barbara Weston, her character,
Yeah.
because it's a stage play.
It's a stage play.
Yeah,
Okay.
and Pinky Amador actually got the chance to play Barbara Weston.
Yeah.
And there was a time Pinky and I were talking, and I said, I wish this will be brought on stage again because I didn't get the chance to see this.
Yeah.
But more on that later
Yeah.
when, when the cameras are no longer rolling. Let's talk about your current projects. What are you doing right now?
Right now, I am in a TV series called Maria Clara at Ibarra, which I'm very proud to be proud of. Proud to be proud of? What the hell? Proud to be
You
proud
are
of.
hungry. You are
I am
hungry.
hungry. I'm so sorry, guys.
Samgyup.
Yes,
Samgyup
we will
mamaya.
Samgyup later. I'm very
Yes.
proud to be part of. So I play Lucia.
Okay.
She's a non-canon na yung character ko sa Noli at El Fili. There is no Lucia there. The only Lucia that was there is kapatid ni Huli na namatay sa malaria. So dad's na yung character na yun. So this is not the same Lucia
Okay.
that I'm playing right now. I play a rebel. We are fighting against the injustices perpetrated by the mga praile in Noli. So and it airs at 8 p.m. every night on GMA, and it's wonderful to be part of this series because it's just the effect of this series on its audiences na parang biglang nagkaroon ng it reinvigorated an interest for these classics. Like sales have been kind of up lately because kids are asking the parents to like buy me a copy of Noli, buy me a copy of
That is wonderful.
El Fili. Even I myself, because the Noli and El Fili that we read in high school, they're kind of the more abridged version na.
Yeah.
On my app, I have a copy of Noli, yung lumang spelling. As in yung the whole book, lumang spelling, yung mga letter K ay letter C pa. So whenever I read it, I have to read it with a dictionary. What does this word mean? It's very old. I have to look it
You
up.
have to look it up.
Yeah, so it's so interesting to you know, watch the series. Watch the series, be part of it, and go through the book as well. And going, oh yeah, okay, so this is where we are now.
It's
This
like
is-
you're learning as you go along.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well, I'm other than Maria Clara and Ibarra. Is there anything else?
I hope I get hired.
Yes,
me.
please hire her. Hire her.
Hire me for my projects.
Okay. She is amazing. Please hire her. Maybe we can invite others to watch Nasibo.
Oh yes, please. It's in cinemas now, beginning today. Check out TBA Studios on Facebook for a list of cinemas where you can watch it. Bring your friends, bring your family. Leave the little kids behind because it's R13. But for everybody else who's of age, please, I encourage you to watch because it's so wonderful to, you know, see our culture on screen on an international arena. And let's watch it because then we could possibly have more films that are similar to this, or you know, similar, you know, where we can also tell our stories, more stories about us on the international space. So
Okay.
yeah, by supporting this, we are, you know, pushing for our own stories in the future. So I hope you guys enjoy the film.
That is so amazing. Thank you so much, Shai, for gracing our show. It is such a joy to have you here, you know? Thank you so
I
much.
had a lot of fun.
I'm glad you did. There you have it, mga katribu. Shai Fonacier. Catch fresh episodes of Spotlight every Friday, 2 p.m. on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube. This has been Matthew Pirante-Pèrez. See you next episode.